Hello and welcome to the Corpus Christi Songwriter Podcast. I am Jules.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Zach.
We got Mr. Zac Stokes here with us, fresh off of his viral video where he's basically like standing up for himself and assaulting some asshole who disrespected him on stage. And,
and also confused and flabbergasted as well.
You know, man, I've been in those situations where like you're cool with a person, everyone's cool, and all of a sudden it's not cool and you feel like you're getting punked. And it's not a very good feeling, man.
It is not, man. Especially coming from somebody that you've known throughout their life, you know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
So just the background on this, will you fill us in on like kind of why we're here, why I sent you a message, and what this video is that's floating around the web?
Before we like get into the nitty gritty of it all, I would like to hear more about who you are and where you come from and that kind of stuff, just to get a little more background on it.
Yeah, so I'm from East Texas, a little town called Eustis. Maybe about 1,000 people, you know, not very many, one red light, stop sign, you know, and that's about it. Grew up down there. My dad moved out to Nashville back in 2001. So my dad plays and sings and stuff, and kind of always looked up towards that or try to do what dad does, you know what I mean?
Right.
And went to college up here at TCU, kind of effed off a little bit and got kicked out, because I started playing music, and kind of camped out up here and stayed in Fort Worth. Didn't want to tell the family that I wasn't in school anymore. So I started playing gigs and just kind of went from there. And over the past, I guess, 10 years, I've been playing music. I actually had a vocal injury in 2018 that put me out for about 5 years. I had to have vocal surgery, and this past year was actually my first year back. And ironically, December 9th was my first show back last year. It was a 1 year anniversary. So it was kind of ironic that.
Best way to cap it out, I guess.
I guess so. At least we'll know we'll be able to keep up with the 9th of December each.
There you go.
You know, because today is actually my birthday, the 12th.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Well,
happy birthday. Yeah.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all.
We planned this. Yeah. It was completely.
Yeah,
so,
man,
I guess now that we'll jump back to.
Well, hang on,
Jules.
because there's a space here. Because I know that like you're from a musical family. You know, you got two other brothers that play around the state, and then you got a dad that lives in Nashville. I know you got
he plays around the country, man.
Now I know, yeah, right. Now I know that is it Tyler and your other brother who's doing a show coming up like Thursday or something like that, or are you a part of that?
I have a thing going on Thursday that it's my birthday. I'm doing a little birthday party with a good friend of mine, and down in Alvarado at the Route 67 Bar and Grill.
Awesome.
My buddy Bo, Robert Brown, Bo, he's killing it down there, man. They got a great venue, great summer venue too.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Heck
Yeah, man. So you grew up with like a dad doing this kind of shit, and it's like I've always like wondered about that experience. 'Cause I'm the only fucking musician in my family who chose to do this shit. You know, I didn't have any examples.
How that felt, you know?
Right. So like, can you maybe speak a little bit about? You talked about doing what dad does and looking up to your dad, right? Other than having a decent father figure, which is also something that, but like, can you maybe just talk about what it's like growing up in a musical family like that? And do you play music with your brothers? Is that like, did y'all come up?
Here recently, we haven't been able to play as much because we're all busy. Now, I'm getting back into the swing of things, but whenever I was hurt for those few years, I was showing up to Tyler and Tanner shows all the time, watching them guys. And then dad, man, we were raised by our great-grandparents coming up, not even our grandparents, our great-grandparents. And dad was always out on the road and living in Nashville. We live down here, you know what I mean? I mean, you do what you do the same thing, you do with the trick of the trade, it's, we're not home as much as we want to be, But it, once I got a little bit older and I started doing the same shit that he does, I had a phone call with him one day. I was like, man, I completely understand. I wouldn't want to be around my ass after this shit either.
That's awesome, man. All right. So tell us what the hell's going on with this crazy video that's going around, man. Cause I saw it and I was like, just kind of offended on your behalf, and thought I might get the scoop from you and the whole skinny behind things, man.
So Saturday night, I go back home. I hadn't been played back home since probably mid 2018, so I haven't been there since then. They just opened up a badass venue down in Malakoff, which is it's called the Whiskey Bent Saloon and Steakhouse. It's a huge venue. It's nice. Well, we're up there. We're playing birthday show, trying to throw it down, and we're playing, and this particular person walks in, and he's sitting at the table, and I'm naive, okay? So he's sitting there, or maybe I'm modest or not modest, I don't know. I just think he's sitting there for 45 minutes enjoying his time. He didn't move from the spot. And so I'm looking around for my little brother Tyler in the crowd, and he had to go do dad duty. So he left, and but I was going to get Tyler up on stage to sing with me. Well, then I keep searching through the crowd. I saw him. I was like, hey, you want to come up here and sing a song? Well, he did something or whatnot, and kind of made it. Now knowing what I know, he made a little bit of a weird gesture, and then started walking up to the stage. Well, as he's walking up to the stage, I'm boasting him up. I'm talking about how I coached him in football whenever I was in high school, how he went to school with my little brother, this, that, and the other, man. And I hadn't seen the kid in a long, long time either. Well, he comes up on stage, and he says, he comes up to the mic. I was like, well, what do you want to sing? Just to him and I. And he looks at me and he says, well, I got something to say. And I said, go ahead, say it. And at this point, I'm thinking like he's about to, maybe say something good about us up on, I don't know, So he starts to grab the microphone and he says, well, you're not going to like it. And that's when the video, you can see me I'm already pissed off looking, I'm already like, what the hell are you about to say?
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
yeah. So he says, you're not going to like it. And I said, don't say anything stupid. And he said, oh, it's going to be a little stupid. And I said, you say something stupid. And I did say, I'll headbutt you. I said, you say something stupid, I'll headbutt you. And that's why I'm sorry he's sitting there posted up. Well, he starts to talk, and then, then the rest unfolds.
What were you in that moment when you heard him say or ask the crowd, like, did anyone understand what a word of what this guy was singing? Like, what did you feel? What did you feel in that moment? What was that like, dude?
Astonished. I just kind of, like more or less, I was just like, honestly, like you said, am I being punked? Like, is this kid like coming up here and talking shit on my freaking stage right now? Like, honestly, after the incident happened, I go into the green room because it kind of calmed down. And I look over at my drummer, Wes, and I look over at him, and I'm like, the huevos on that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Some cojones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to. Do you have any inkling of what was going through his mind to make him think it was okay to? I know that it was an attack, right? But
I mean, I think it was already like premeditated because
right.
I mean, it felt like it was kamikaze. Like he was about to just go in there and wipe some shit out and then bounce out that damn thing, or try to get me to where I wasn't on stage anymore. I don't know his the method to the madness or whatnot. I'm not sure,
right.
But it didn't work out in the end,
So I wonder also, man, like, there is a certain, like, I think as a matter of judging kind of a moral character and stuff of a person, it speaks volumes as to how they manage or handle stressful situations. And it seems like in that situation, there's not only the concern for like, is my dignity suffering right now in this moment, right? But then there's the other side of that, like, if I respond a certain way, will that cause damage to me and myself in this project that I've built up, right?
Right.
So I wonder what the sort of calculus was for you in that moment. Like, did you have any thoughts of like, oh shit, like this is my first show back, I don't need to be punching a dude, or this is the way it's gonna start out? Like, what was that?
I mean, and the old me probably wouldn't have thought that out and just reacted, the old younger version of myself.
Yeah.
But sitting there, I mean, you could see that I was clearly pissed off, and I mean, I didn't like lightly push him out of the front of the microphone, But
that should have been enough right there. Like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think what really set me off was his little ass starting to come back and act like he was going to do something, to be honest. Because I'm sitting there telling him to get off the stage, and he's still steadily aborting his mission and then running his mouth at the same time. And honestly, it was just a reaction on the second, the second situation that happened.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even left-handed, but I
was going to say, yeah, it's a soft jab that you gave him out of your not dominant hand.
Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, love tap for sure. But I mean, I think that was just I didn't even honestly I didn't want to do that, period.
Yeah,
sure. But it was just, I don't even remember what he was saying after he got off the microphone. I was just walking over there and he kept talking. And I was just a reaction. Like, it was just like.
Yeah, Love Tap. That'll be the title of this episode.
Love Tap.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
There's been this kind of epidemic going around of performers, comedians, musicians, whatever, getting accosted or assaulted on stage from people throwing things and people coming up and so now you're a part of that ever-growing list. I know you had a personal connection to this guy, but do you have any ideas on why this is happening and what could happen to stop it?
I guess, I hate to say it, but are you gonna have to stop allowing people up on your stage, or is it like? Like I said, I had a personal relationship with this fella, and I didn't even think, I never would have thought, period. It didn't matter if he hated me or loved me with all of his heart, that somebody would be that ignorant to do something like that, especially trying to be an aspiring artist himself.
Right.
If we're not all in this together, then why the hell we already got enough problems and enough shit that's makes it tough anyway, you know what I mean? So for us to be in each other's way is it's absurd, really.
Oh, for sure.
But a solution, I guess be better judgment of character. Because I hate to say not to invite people up because it's almost an honor. I remember coming up through the years, man, that whenever like Daryl Dodd or Jamie Richards or like Wade or all those guys like called me up on stage. I was an honor, it was a but they even thought that highly of me to even have me up there on their stage,
Right.
Never would I have overstepped the bounds or insult the son of a guns right there in front of their face while they're still performing.
Do you think a lot of it is people are feeling emboldened by the idea that cameras are watching them now and all this can go viral, good or bad?
I've thought that a few different times just about this one situation and everything, but I truly don't think that that's what he was thinking. I think that he was just he was a little bit inebriated, let the alcohol start talking for him, and a little envious. I think there was a little envy in there, a little jealousy involved. He's always, it's always kind of been like that, not particularly towards me, but towards my younger brothers. And that's what I assume that's what it was. After talking to my mother last night and hearing what he was saying outside, I'm not ashamed of putting that video up at all now.
Yeah. Envy is a hungry monster.
It is, man. And I apologize, y'all can't see me. I'm actually driving back to Fort Worth right now. I pulled over to do this, and it's starting to get dark, so I apologize.
Hey. No worries, man. No worries, man. Man, I wonder, dude, like, so part of me, like, I study a lot of philosophy, man, so I'm about to get a little bit deep with this. I'm trying not to get too deep with it, but I'll just say that, like, I wonder, man, like, because with situations like this, there's always a dialectical equal and opposite sort of other side. And I wonder, as far as this guy's, like, I'm not trying to exonerate him by any stretch, right?
No. But I'm saying, advocates always will.
Well, and not even like it's not even to mount a defense as much as it's like, so much of what we do as songwriters is a isolated and solo sort of internal venture, right? So we look inside ourselves, or we try to look inside of others via looking inside ourselves, try to reveal the listener to the listener, right? And And we end up writing songs that tug at heartstrings or evoke emotions. And all that to say is that sometimes songwriters write songs so they can deal with their internal stuff themselves, right? They're like, it's like therapeutic almost.
Right.
And so I wonder, this dude writing songs and this dude being on stage, like what sort of thing, I mean, I know we talked about envy and now it's a hungry monster, but like, what the fuck is going on internally with this dude that he was compelled, you know, just he obviously went on stage with the intention of saying that stuff. And as an artist, he knows it's not a good idea.
But maybe he thought that he was, I mean, I don't care if he was playing and it was me. I would hope that the same situation would have been towards me as if it is towards him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if he had invited you on stage, no way you would have acted a fool that way, you know, because you understand what it is to.
And, you know, ironically, he has invited me up on stage before. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like it's very strange that this individual, as an artist, would be informed about the etiquette on stage and stuff like that, and yet still make this move. So it's, to me, it's like, because I know you guys hadn't talked in a while. You have a personal relationship with him, but it's been a number of years, as I understand it, that you've spoken to that guy. It's got to be something internal with that dude. And I don't know what that is, but that dude's got to look deep inside himself and figure that shit out, is all I'm saying, you know?
He definitely does, man. And stop masking it as well, you know, because masking it doesn't make it better. It usually creates the problem even worse, as if it did for him that night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And as you mentioned before, him being inebriated was probably a big catalyst for everything that happened.
I want to say so too, man.
Now,
because
has he since reached out, tried to apologize, anything along those lines?
Well, I didn't know this until recently. There was already kind of a feud happening between my brother Tyler and that fella, and so he did. But after Tyler found out about it, he called me and he reached out and asked me to call him. Which, first off, I don't feel as if I should need to call him. He needs to contact me. Right. And I'm open to listen to him, and I'm open to taking his apology. But after I heard what he had to say about some particular situations of my family, I'm not ashamed or mad that I posted that. That's when I posted the video, to be honest. I edited it up and I made it happen.
Wow. Right. Wow. So there's like a feud going on between him and your brother, basically. Like he's got some beef for some reason or
for
whatever.
For some reason or another.
Okay.
But that had nothing to do with me. And I'm honestly, if I had known that, I would have never even probably invited him up on stage.
Of course.
In my mind, I'm thinking, why in the hell did you waste $10 to sit there and be pissed off all night long?
Yeah. I mean, should all be about the music instead. This internal beef got in the way of that. That's just disappointing.
Right. It is disappointing, and it's unfortunate, really.
Very much so.
Well, you know, if you follow like some of these like music marketer genius people that like talk about the concept of super fans, and if you get 1,000 super fans and your career's there, well, I take it one step further. If you can find 1,000 doofuses like this asshole that get you 10,000 views or 12,000 views online, you know, then I mean, I think that might be a little more effective as well. I mean, the hater really helped you out here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, you just line up a couple of shows. Like, you know, there's a bunch of douchers in this town. You know, that's a good town to book.
Wait, is this what happened? Did you do that?
Oh, totally, man. I set that up. Actually, the people that were videoing it are good friends of mine, and they were videoing it because they know him as well. And they started videoing a little bit late because you don't really see him walking up there. But they were videoing because they wanted to video the moment, you know, like the song, not the outcome of what it transpired.
Yeah.
Because I clearly was not. I mean, it didn't ruin my night. I came off stage, you know, went and had a little safety meeting, and got some wits about me, and we went back outside. We went back out there, and we had some more fun, man.
There you go. So you finished the show.
Oh, definitely.
And probably the show was that much stronger for it.
Oh yeah, man. And honestly, This daggum light keeps turning off. But honestly, man, that's my favorite thing to do. You know, if you can come back from something of sorts. I mean, I got a bit of a reputation to where I've sometimes have had to play bouncer at some of my shows, and I'll go out there and handle business and get back up on stage like it ain't nothing and go. If the band sometimes don't even stop, they just used to, you know. So like we'll go back into it, but that one is a little bit. I mean, there's some videos that I've got I had some of my guys GoProing the show, and there's some videos I got where I'm talking on the microphone about it after it happened, and I'm more or less. It's not that I was mad. I even said on my. I'm not that I'm mad. It's my feelings are hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know, like call it what you will, but whenever I mean, there's. You know, everybody says this is what I would have done, or I'd have done this, or I'd done that, and I'd probably been one of those dudes that said that if it were to happen to one of you guys, you know. But until you're in that moment and you're there, and there's 250 people looking at you, and he's being an asshole, and you're trying to do what you can to not make this your situation, because right now it's on him. And if it had gone any other way, and I'd done what any of them guys would have said, now my big ass just beat this dude up, and no longer is the fact that he talks shit on my stage, but it's the fact that he just got his ass whooped, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you say that though, man. Just, I mean, I don't know, man. I think we all have some kind of memory where like we kind of failed to be the person that we need to be. And it's, you know,
we talk about,
right, weekly, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to say that like, what I got out of that video, I mean, you'd come away with a bunch of different perspectives, right? You'd come away off a first watch of like, oh shit, who's this guy? I want to find out who this doofus is. Or you'd have come out with like, oh, who's this? This guy's in the right. Good for him. Who's this guy? You know, Zac Stokes, Hellbent Trio. Awesome. You know, a lot of different perspectives, right? And I guess I kind of spacing on what I was saying, but like this guy coming onto your stage and saying what he said. Yeah, it's like you had a choice in that moment. And that could have easily been a memory where you kind of failed to be someone you needed to be. You know, like
or you know, not, you know,
you could have been like, "Oh, this guy's funny." You get him off stage, and then maybe you wouldn't have appeared. You know, might have been many different ways you could have handled it. And
what it reminded me of is like old school Blaze Foley. He would,
I think the reference too.
Someone would be talking shit off stage, and he'd just go and beat their ass, and so good on that. That's definitely not. I don't throw a punch usually, so to see you know someone stand up for themselves in that capacity, that I mean, it's I do feel you're in the right for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't feel like that I'm in the wrong, but I don't feel like I should have resorted to violence, of course. But at the same time, man, like talk shit, get hit.
Yeah. So let me just. I'm gonna share a brief story because I feel like I felt the way that you felt after this story. And it's the only way I can kind of relate, because it's interesting that you say when you talked about it, you were like, you know, it's not that I'm mad, it's that my feelings were hurt. Right. Yeah. And so like, I remember on my 21st birthday, I was at a bar with some friends and my girlfriend at the time. And this guy was like hitting on my girlfriend, and it was like right in front of me. And I'm like, you know, I have some audacity. I will hit on women that are taken at a bar, but I will not do it like walk up in front of their man and do it sort of thing.
No, especially like, I mean, I prefer them to walk up to me usually.
Sure. I mean, you seem like you're a bigger dude, right? And so like, it's like,
I don't do much walking.
Like, yeah. So like, long story short, this dude is like, basically like, mind you, I'm 21 years old at a bar, I'm a young kid, right? And this guy who says, well, how much longer do you think you're going to be with this guy? And I looked at him, and I looked him in the eye, and I was like, well, excuse me, are you hitting on my girlfriend in front of me? Because like, I don't blame you. She is a good looking girl, but I just need some clarity here. Like, are you in fact doing this in front of me right now?
Blatantly.
You know?
Blatantly.
Yeah. And this dude was like, I will fucking slap your ass, bitch. And I'm like, you're going to slap me? And this motherfucker open hand slaps me across the face and then jets to the door. and I see my friends like jump over a table to chase him out, and this dude just disappears into the night. And I was like,
he just one hit. Well, just
ran away, and when he ran away, I was like, "What the fuck? I don't even have an opportunity to try and hit this guy now or something,
like,
you know?"
The phantom slapper.
Clearly, you're upset about it still. Like it's just like you never got your one, man.
Like I remember that was my 21st birthday, man. I mean, it was a great night anyway. Where I know, fucked up and had a terrible hangover, but I would say that like that memory is still in my head. And it's not, and it's
drunk to forget that.
Yeah, and over the years, it's like it's not so much that like I got slapped and dignity suffered, but it was like I didn't even have a chance for retribution because that dude ran away, and so I'm left anyway. But like you at that point, I want to just say that I think that you smacking that guy in the face was as equal or worse a disrespect than him saying some mildly insulting shit into your mic, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that dude got what was coming to him. And but you got to slap him and then he ran away, you know?
Yeah,
so good for you, brother. Yeah.
Well, you know, I love an attaboy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's just times in a man's life, you know, where like it's just like someone I don't know, tips your cowboy hat off your head. That's like that you're fighting. I just feel like
there's some things that are like you just said, man. There's just some things that are acceptable, and there's some things that aren't at all. And like that's one of them. I mean, clearly, it's not because of me this thing's going viral. It's because of the disrespect, and it could have been any one of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like that if. Like I said, if we all could just work together and stop being so damn envious of somebody else's success or lack thereof your own or whatever it is, you probably go to sleep a lot better. And you might even get further off in your career and not blackballed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Totally. I mean, I feel like and this is kind of the secret to my success is that I feel like the only way you can be part of a scene is by being a part of the scene. That means you have to go out, you have to be a part of it, you have to give back to it. You
don't want the scene to hate you.
Right. No, but you have to be someone that the scene wants around, which is exactly what this guy is not at this point. I mean, so
it sucks because the guy has some talent, man. He's got a good voice and stuff. And like, it just, I mean.
Well, you know, I want to say just briefly that I'll disagree with you there in that he has a good voice, and I think that's part of why he said what he said. Is I think he's kind of projecting because I went and found this guy's stuff, and obviously we're not going to say his name, but you know, I'm not saying the guy has a bad voice. I'm saying the guy could work on what he does.
Definitely could work on it, but I mean, he's young, and honestly, he's not been doing it very long either. You know, like I would say he's probably been doing it for seriously and like. In a sense of trying to do it, I would say he's only been doing it for 2 or 3 years, you know, and I think he was a rapper or something at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's like any other vocalist when you start out, where he probably is still in that stage where you can't differentiate between like his nose, his throat, or his chest voice, sort of thing, you know.
And just finding yourself too.
The question is, how's his diction? Right?
What's that?
How's his diction? Can you hear him enunciate?
I mean, not in that video. Whenever he was talking, like he was.
Because his whole thing was like, "Can you understand anything this man's saying?"
But so, I don't even think he thought out what he was going to say because the sound sounded fantastic on Saturday night. I mean, I because of this video, I didn't realize it was going to hit like it hit. I just edited a little promo from the recap of last weekend, but I have some videos now that I'm going to post to see if y'all's opinion that this sound was you could undescribe my words or not.
Right. So tell us about the Hellbent Trio, man. This is a new project you have, though, right?
I do find that the band name is fitting.
Fuck yeah.
You know, it was definitely thought out, right? It's kind of I'm just Hellbent, you know, pretty much, and that's kind of what I was going with. And I've just started doing a trio, you know, like because over the 5 years that I was hurt, I played a lot of guitar. You know what I mean? I started getting a lot more comfortable with my craft, my instrument, to the point that I felt I've just always wanted to do the trio, and nobody gets more girls than a singer and guitar player. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way I look at it. And I just enjoy like going into solos and doing stuff with that sort, man, and trying to widen or broaden my horizons, as I would see said. But the trio, man, so before I got hurt, this is really my logic behind running a trio. I used to run around and have a 6-piece band, okay? But keeping up with 5 other musicians and myself, that's a full-time job by itself. Not even counting having to market yourself and do all these things and then make sure that these 5 get to Corpus, you know, say we're from Fort Worth, okay? That's 6.5 hours. So you get 5 of these kinds of people to an establishment on a dead set scheduled time to be set up. I know why I was going crazy. That's for sure. So I was if I only have to deal with 2 of y'all, man, sign me up. I'll get better on guitar. We're doing this. Like
that's 4 less egos you have to worry about for sure.
100%. 4 less egos, 4 less phone numbers I got to remember. You know, 4 less people that I have to bail out of jail. You know,
what's the relationship with your bass player like?
Oh no.
Oh, Adam? Oh, dude. So did he not set the ambience of the whole film with the Seinfeld licks after he said that? He was like, I texted him last night after I'd watched it a few times and I started noticing it. And I was like, hey, the best part for me of that whole video is your bass but like licks every time. And then I punched the kid, and then he we're going into commercial. He's like giving a real busy one, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jules has a love-hate relationship with bassists. That's why I asked that question.
No, I will say he was an hour and a half late that night.
It's not helping the cause here.
Not helping having to deal with just 2 of them.
Did he show up in a Buc-ee's t-shirt?
No, he actually showed up in like I don't know exactly what I would call it, but it reminded me of like a medieval times like shirt, you know, with the big neck and then the wide round and you know they like say John the Baptist in Robin Hood's kind of cloak when he had the little hood on his back, you know, like in Robin Hood.
He shows up in like 14th century apparel or something.
I mean, totally. He was 14th century. Like he walked in there and then he looked like he looked.
It's like, sorry, I didn't know Don Quixote was sitting in on bass or something. You know, like
moonlights at the Renaissance Festival.
Right, man. He has another part-time job apparently.
Amazing, dude. Amazing. Fucking Lancelot over here on bass, dude. It's great, dude.
Lancelot.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, dude. Knights of the Round Table, except we're missing a few knights.
Yeah. Like, where's Arthur? He better watch his girl, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think Arthur got bitch flat.
Where's Guinevere at, man? Yeah. So what's up with it? Do you have a new album you're coming out with? I think you have a
No, but I've got a lot of new material. I mean, I've because this past year has really been me. After I had vocal surgery, I wasn't really able to talk for a while, let alone sing. And then I was doing vocal therapy, still doing vocal therapy once a month now. Was doing it 2 times a week for a minute. I mean, I had to learn how to use my air to talk again. You know?
Wait, I'm just making this connection now, but like this fucker went on your stage after you're kind of known in the community for having a vocal injury and said this shit.
Yeah. I mean, after I had vocal surgery, which that was in 2018 whenever it happened, and then 2021, August 7th, 2021 is when I had my surgery, and then I was released in November 22 to start singing. And talk about starting from, I mean, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the ranch here in Fort Worth, but we had 2015, it was Co Wetzel and I was in the finals of Ranch Factor, and I beat Co in Ranch Factor, and we were killing it, man. We were really doing well, doing good. I was overworked, you know, and underpaid. I was just working basically to keep my guys busy because, you know, as fellow musicians, if I don't keep them working, then they're either trying to find somewhere else to work or they're not eating, you know. So I took that responsibility in too. So I was sometimes even playing shows that I really didn't even be playing. You know, I was better than that, you know, but I just did it because it's hard for me to turn down, you know, those S's with the lines in the middle of them.
Of course.
Yeah.
All been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, like the, that and, you know, late nights and curriculars, you know, put me out, extracurriculars and things. So but I mean, I think that everything in that standpoint happened to me for a reason, because it humbled me so much, man. I was one of those dudes walking around probably. I was probably right there with that kid, you know, but talk about going and playing in front of 1,000 people a night or 500 and 1,000 people a night to going and buying a push mower and start a landscaping company and push mowing yards, you know, to make a buck. And I did that for 2.5 years. I mean, the first year of the whole thing, I was kind of depressed, of course, you know, a little bit low. It's probably the lowest I ever been, to be honest. And kind of got out of the funk a little bit. The woman I was with at the time got me out of the funk and basically said she's gonna leave my ass if I didn't get up and make some money. So I went and bought a push mower, and me and my bass player that I had started a little landscape and tree removal service and did pretty damn good. Other than it had to work my ass off, it was pretty good though, man. I mean, I enjoyed it, and I had to end up having some other people work for me. I even during COVID was having musicians work for me because you know, the guys wasn't able to play.
Yeah.
And I understood it. I was like, I was just 2 years ahead of y'all.
There you go.
Right. Wow. Yeah, man. So you're back and your vocals are feeling good, and vocal therapy once a month, and you're all at the sort of like culmination of this at a birthday show, and this guy steps up, man. Like the more I evaluate and learn about the situation, the more of an asshole this kid is, and the more you had every sort of
whenever you got you know, alcohol running through your system. I don't know that he was thinking about it being my birthday or any of that kind of thing, you know.
Well, it's like you are your own Will Smith, man. It's like the guy insulted you after your own surgery, and then you went and slapped him on your own behalf, you know?
He's like, he somebody on my comment thread said, he just Kanye West his ass?
Right.
They're like, man, it's like, Zach just got Kanye Wested.
He did not do that well, man. At least Kanye, like when he steals a mic, he says some shit that, like, I don't know, it over the course of history, like when, I mean, I hate to say it, man. I mean, but when you look back now and Kanye West said George Bush didn't care about black people, that seems like really real, you know, considering. But I don't know, this thing is just I mean, you know, I'm glad I didn't grow up in the age of cell phones and the internet and shit, because there'd be wacky stuff out there, you know. But this guy this is in the digital ether forever, man. Like, you don't have to use the DistroKid leave a legacy option on releasing this bit of media, because it's out there, it's circulating, and yo, I love the did you insert, or was that one of your fans that inserted the kids singing at the front of your video? Have you seen that version of your video floating around out there?
I haven't even seen it. I haven't even seen it, like any shares on it. I saw one that was trying to shit in a small town, that song playing, and I hit him.
Well, that's
wow.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Do you think? I hope that he comes to his senses. I hope that he apologizes to you and all that kind of stuff eventually. And because, like you said, this is going to live in the ether for forever now. So,
right. I have a feeling that that next day he tried to reach out to me, but it was too fresh. And then Tyler was pissed off, and I was like, well, that's between y'all at this point. And like I said, I don't feel as if I should be the one. He sent me his number and I need to call him. I was like, I don't know. You need to figure out some way to get a hold of me, and it ain't because I'm giving you my number.
Yeah.
You disrespect me. I didn't disrespect you. I ain't reaching out to you. So, not that I'm not willing to, like to forgive but forget, or forgive, never forget. But I mean, like I said, I've known that kid since he was in second grade, third grade. We went to school with my youngest brother, Tanner Sparks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate that we had to make him famous, but for the wrong reasons, but he did it to himself.
Yeah, definitely. So is there anywhere we can find your stuff? What's the main hub? Spotify?
Spotify. I mean, any platform that you find music, y'all can use my sounds on TikTok, all the things, man. It's just Zac Stokes, CACSTOKES.
Wonderful.
And that's it right now. I have an album that's down off of there right now. I've been getting blown up because it's my most popular, but I'm switching over to DistroKit from an actual company that I was using for distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking my own distribution off, so I have more control over my stuff.
Good.
So,
awesome.
But we're actually, it sucks that this all happened, and that one record's not on there, because hopefully people are out there streaming my stuff right now. But definitely going to get that on there tomorrow, and it'll probably take a few days for it to load up as normal. But
oh yeah,
man, your tone sounds great and Outlaw in My Jeans, man. When I was listening to your Reckless album, and I got the vibe from your, like, I think for listeners out there who are looking for some kind of comparison to what you do, man. I mean, like I said, I haven't listened to your whole stuff, man, but I think there's a band around here on these parts called the Will Rhodes Band, and I feel like if you're a fan of the Will Rhodes Band, you'd be a fan of Zac Stokes. So,
I like Will Rhodes already.
Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, I've opened for him a couple times. It's funny. It's like Outlaw in My Veins seems somewhat like a love song to Crushed Up Pills or something in some ways, like something like a substance, sort of. It's weird how like everybody has their object of affection, and it comes through in their writing and some. Yeah,
I just feel like it's that song to me, Outlaw in My Jeans, is a little bit of everything about me, to be honest. It's I mean, it's kind of that video sums it up as well. Everything about me within that song is that video, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't had to explain it. Like, that video speaks for itself, and don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I just think that, I mean, like, you guys, your brothers, I mean, you guys are beloved, to the Texas music scene, man. And, it's just...
and to see that overwhelming support was awesome, because here I am thinking nobody likes me. And then out of nowhere, dude, we're being, talked about. And I'm seeing people and talk that I ain't talked to in a long time that I just thought I was irrelevant to, but it feels good to know that I'm not,
Right. I'm not condoning constantly punching people, but something happened, and now here we are.
I know, but I didn't think that it would be like I thought. For instance, if I ever punched somebody and was on camera, it'd probably be on Cops or some shit. Like, I didn't know I was gonna like get a slap on the wrist rather than like, go to jail or something.
Right. Well, honestly, the guy's just lucky you hit him with a soft left jab. I mean, like it's if his gesture towards you might have been a little more aggressive,
if it was more aggressive, it would have been different. I know
yeah. And I mean, you were holding a guitar, and it's like, guitars could take a beating or two. You could have done something, but
I saw a few comments. They were saying something similar to like, man, too bad that was a nice guitar. I'd sure like to have seen that.
Right. Wish this was a bolt-on neck sort of thing.
You talk about turning the table on my ass. Like,
Yeah,
you know, it's like instead of dude getting on stage and insulting me, Zac Stokes kills a guy with his guitar. Like,
right. There's a little overboard there, a little overreaction Monday. Yeah. Yo, I was gonna say though, man, that like the feedback on the guitar was clutch and incredible timing though, man, because like you lay your guitar down and you don't even like turn your volume knob down, and it just starts to feedback and sustain, and it's fucking hilarious, man.
I saw somebody on the comment thread too. They said it was like the guitar knew to set the tone.
Yeah, man.
Did so very successfully, and it's in stark contrast to what I would probably do in that situation. I've been, you know, around fights that happen either near me or on stage while I'm playing, and twice now when that started to happen, I start playing Imagine by John Lennon, and
that's great.
So I probably would do something along those lines. You know, but
amazing.
That's awesome.
Amazing,
somebody
man.
Playing like I got sunshine. You know?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. It's like the last violin player on the Titanic or something, you know.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Well,
right on, Zach, man. I feel like do you have any more questions, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, you know, I know this is a quick bonus episode that we're doing here, but I'd love to ask the same thing we ask all of our guests. I call it the Almost Famous question. It's from the movie Almost Famous, which nobody has heard of these days. It's a Cameron Crowe.
I love that movie. One of my favorites.
You're the first guest that has come on and said that. That's fantastic.
Hey, I had a crush on P. Lane from way back in the day.
Me too, and that's honestly still do. But it's the Almost Famous question because it's the question that he's chasing after Billy Crudup's character and trying to ask him the entire time. And that question is, what do you love about music?
Expressing myself. And just like after the fact, you know, after that video, we went inside. I was still amped up, pissed off, but I was cooled off. We went out and I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna play Stranglehold. You know, so it's just a way to express myself, and that's how it's always been for me. Even growing up, it was it's an outlet, you know, and it was an outlet that I fell in love with, fortunately, you know. So I'm fortunate enough to do what I love to do, and not to say that it's roses and rainbows all the time, but it beats the hell out of pushing on a yard, I'll tell you that.